Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 25. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report where we have plenty of news, plenty of updates. Get yourself a cup of coffee, tea, whatever beverage you actually want. We have plenty of things to go through this particular week again, and to give you a bit of a few highlights that are coming in this particular video here. One of the most important things is our lucky trader. We actually have the first results now ready. We set up about 8 EAs. We're going to show you the results in this particular news report so you can see how things are moving. And obviously there will be a lot more to come on this particular new EA. We are still in the testing phase very much. We have about 4 weeks to go still on this one. We also have a new video that we have sent out, and this is one of the EAs that now have passed 400 days, 200% profits, 75% wins, and more than $20,000 also has been actually accumulated by this EA. This new video is going to show you a bit more about the profits, how it's actually made, and over how much time, which currency pairs, and so on and so on. So please stay tuned also. For this particular video here, we'll make sure that there is a link in the description below. Last but not least, we also have a bit of an update regarding Yieldnodes. We actually found a video here on Facebook and YouTube. This was actually done in Malta. We can see from the location itself here, this is actually in Mosta in Malta, and it's in the Decenomy/Yieldnodes office, not in the hub. So this is done on the rooftop, and it looks like it's actually a Maltese that has done that. That is pretty much given away on the accent in this particular interview here. Unfortunately, there's not really much teeth in this particular reporting. This is only very, very general, and it's not really covering all the issues that all the Yieldnodes and Decenomy investors wanted to know everything about. But anyway, we have plenty of other updates also for this one. So let's get started. Let's get into it. So in recent weeks, I get more and more questions regarding the NFT certificate coming out of Yieldnodes. And one of the things that I actually noticed here is some people is not really sure where they are supposed to pick this one particular up. And that's why we have also shown the certificate. We have also shown the wallet where we have received this one. You can see ours has been received on the 26th of May at 22:39. And again, this is token name Yieldnodes NFT. And if you can't find it, or if you haven't really looked into it yet, you will have to go on your Polygon account. This is actually where it pops up. So you'll have your individual different networks on your individual wallets, depending on what coins you have in there. So go and have a look at the Polygon in here to see if it's actually available for you or not. So it might have dropped in without you actually noticing. So these are one of the comments that we get quite a few of. A good thing people are finding it. Another way is actually logging into the Yieldnodes platform. And now that we have claimed our NFT, we don't have it here. But there is a little faked one, says Yieldnodes NFT in here. And obviously that's a good place to go and have a look also. If you haven't claimed it before, then it should be showing up there instead. So go and have a closer look at it. In the meantime, we're going to have a closer look at the Rolls Royce of the Decenomy Coins. This is the SAP coin we have in here. And that development has actually gone in a more positive direction. But then again, don't get too excited because the movements is only fairly small. So it's not really anything to be very, very happy about at the moment. You can see the round circle is where we left it last time. And at the moment, we are down to about 7 zeros and then a 4. And it has moved forward this particular week around after a couple of weeks where we have gone backwards. So now it's basically again 0.7 zeros and then up to 0.5. So not great movements. And as you can see here also, there is only very limited movements in the past week. There's a bit more movement when it comes to the SAP coins, and these are the staking coins that we do from our wallet in here. This week has been a particular good one because we actually had two, one on the 18th of June and one on the 22nd here of June. And if we have a closer look down, we can now see that we get about 840 SAP for this particular month. So that is good so far. We still have about a week left to go for the month of June. So it might be more drizzling in later on. Overall, this means that for the week we made 2.3% or 560 SAP. So that is actually an okay week. Definitely, as you can see, compared to some of the prior months. May was obviously the best one, but so be it. It's not very stable when you're staking. You simply just have to do and play the long game at the end of the day. Now PNY has also been quite good, also has two in here, one on the 17th, one on the 20th of June. That also makes the month of June one of the best ones, and basically coming in at around 900 PNY. And at the end of the day, that means 1.3% and 266 PNY for this particular week. Going on to the Bitcoin versus USDT, we can see that it has been a negative development all the way through the week. Basically, we left it last time around just above the 66,000 mark. We did have a bit of a top up past 67. Since then, it was actually in a downwards trend, slowly but surely, as you can see, with a couple of hiccups from time to time. And then in the last day or two, we have seen a bit of a decline at the moment, all the way down to 62,500. And the question is, with the last couple of green ones in here, is it actually on the move? Is it on the right path once more? The same thing can actually be said for the Trillant and the Trillant news that we normally have. The only thing that has come out of the management team this week is this particular email here saying thank you very much for your support to better we can do it. Over the last few days, many members of the community have responded to our request and forwarded us the emails they received from the lawyers in Vienna. This request remains valid, so this was obviously something that we had out in the past couple of weeks. What was particularly pleased about, however, are the many supportive messages. Your positive support encourages us to keep going and believe our vision, despite the challenges are currently experiencing. So it means that the vision is still there somewhere. It is a bit hard for us to see definitely at the moment. So obviously at the end of the day, the management team wishes everybody a bit of wisdom, peace and success. But obviously we also wish a bit back on the Trillant team to make sure that they can correct this for us once again. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at the 3 coin in coinstore.com. And also here we see a small positive trend in the past week. So the red circle again is where we left it. So this was at 0.0001043. And since then we saw a bit of a hike up. So this very much doesn't go in line with what you saw with Bitcoin. So it managed to get the price up to basically whereabouts it is at the moment, 0.0001141. And we'll have to see if this is a continuing trend or it's just a small little hype. So for one particular week. In between though, we have the money tree, and that's not a hype. We see good profits all the way around. Low risk did have a bit of a minus, as we said in the previous news reports. But this week we were up by $107, so 3.3%. So that is obviously good. But again, the low risk one is also the one with the many currencies. We are more interested in the medium one. This is the one that we are actually setting up. This is the one where we take the best currency pairs in and then set our risk strategy ourselves. That made $42 or 0.8%. And then the high risk one, we do similar part, but we are normally doing a higher lot size. That made $46 or 1.0%. So this is highly unusual that the low risk one is actually making more, but some of the currency pairs that we weed out. So it looks like it came through for the low risk one this particular week. You can obviously see a lot more about it on our website, the high tech investment website in here. You can see basically the Blaze broker FX Blue links. This is the low risk, medium and high risk in here. And you can also even still get a discount of 5% if you're interested in trading this one yourself. Having a closer look here at the medium account again, started off with 5,000. And as we said, we had a couple of bumps on the road. But as you can see, it continues to go quite well. Balance is now up to 6,700 and the equity curve is at 6,433. So floating profit of minus 265. So that is a bit high at the moment. It has been higher. So let's see if it doesn't come down. Monthly returns is still calculated very low, 2.1%. Weekly return 0.5, and then total return, even after we had all these bumps on the road here, 28%. And you can see the history for that particular money tree here, 424 days. So that goes for all the 3 accounts that we have in here. If we put some numbers on it, you can see the same numbers as obviously here. We are not changing the lot size depending on the more money is coming in, because it's on the copy link service. And at the moment, it's still not worth making too many changes. So let's have a look at the individual weeks. Past weeks has been good with 79, 70, 72, and the last one at the bottom here is 42 this particular week. You can see all the currency pairs that is being traded here. So obviously there's quite a few, and even the US Japanese you can see in here, and also the Euro Japanese and New Zealand Japanese still doing okay on the medium risk one, maybe not so good on the low risk one. Another thing that we wanted to explain to you again is our profit retriever. It has done tremendously well over the past couple of years, but we are winding down on the links. We are winding down on the copy link service for these particular ones, because we have so many other EAs that we want to use our time and computer power on. So obviously these ones are running out. So the next time all the trades are closing, then they won't open again. We have mentioned this over the past couple of months, so just be aware of it. The next one we have here today is the Trade Explorer. And the Trade Explorer, as you know, has been doing quite well for a while. I did explain here also in the past couple of weeks that we have made some changes on the 22 pair. The lot sizing, we have put that up a bit. Here it looks like obviously it's outperforming the 10 pair one with $355 or 3.6%. But this has also been a good week for the 22 pair. It has done so in the past. We have only made a small adjustment, so this is just a bit of luck also that it comes in higher than the 10 pair one. 10 pair one did $207 or 2.1%, and that is pretty much where we normally expect it to be. Maybe the 10 pair one is a bit lower than where we would normally like to have it, but that is the nature of the game when you're trading into the Forex market. Now, we also made a video, and we mentioned that in the beginning here. So this is from the Trade Explorer. We are going through some of the video material where you'll find all the documentation since we started off with this particular EA. You can see that we have more than 400 days of trading. You can actually find all those details and information on the High Tech Investment website. And it'll also show you that the 10 pair one has actually surpassed 200%. Both of the accounts, both the 22 pair and 10 pair, has done more than 75% trade win, so extremely high trade win for that particular EA. And then you'll also see that the 10 pair one has actually done more than 20,000 in profits, and we're going to have a look at that right here. But first we're going to do the 22 pair. Again, weekly and monthly returns, as you can see here, we are not changing the lot size, so this is actually getting smaller and smaller. You have to do the overall calculations through the net profit week on week or month by month. History 403 days, as you can see now, the 22 pair, this is all the currencies that we are trading. And this particular week here, we ended up at $355. So a lot better than the past couple of weeks. We have to go all the way back, I see here, to April to at least closely match it. I'm just looking through it. There's nothing else in here. So you can see that the lot adjustment, it has actually worked. If it's going to be that high in the future, we'll have to wait and see. But this is still a good stable settings, and we haven't really pumped up the lot size too much. It still fits within the $10,000 range. 10 pair one, this is the one that we also have the highest numbers on. Weekly returns 2%, monthly 8.5%, and also here again, at the end of the day, we are not changing the lot size for this particular one. For the copy link service, it always stays the same. Looking at the net profit here, you can see 207 as we got in. It's a bit low because previous weeks 222, 320, 206, 427. Obviously better than part of month of May in here, but that was also terrible. And then you can see all the currency pairs we have over here at the end of the day. So this is still a very, very good EA. It's pretty much a set and forget. And it's actually working over long periods of time. As you can see, again, history 403 days. So that tells the entire story. We have a good story also with the Wave Liberator for week 25, the top 5 EAs in here. Top one is actually Swiss Japanese, $80 or 8% for the week. Aussie Japanese, $60 or 6%. And then Great British Pounds, CAT, 50 and 5%. And then Aussie CAT, $46, 4.6%. And then US CAT, $34 or 3.4%. And overall, if you would have traded those top 5 in the past week, you would have made $270 or 5.4%. So definitely in a good range at the moment. If we also have a look at all the demo accounts that we have set up, this is our entire portfolio of the 20 different EAs we have. Balance has gone up from 200,000, which we started off 20 times 10,000, 218. Equity at the moment 213, so we are in a minus with 5,000, and normally that tracks all the way through. This is quite common for all these grid trading EAs, and we're going to have a closer look. Total returns 11.9%, and then monthly returns 1.3%, weekly returns 0.3%. And again, because this is on $10,000 accounts, you can actually trade these EAs on 1,000, and then you can times the results by 10. History is now also more than 300 days, 307 to be exact. And you can see the number of trades is very well divided between all of them. So it is doing extremely well. Just look at the graph here. So very, very smooth all the way. That's what happens when you have so many different currency pairs traded at the same time. You get a good stable income all the way through. And all of these are actually also, again, on our website. You can find them there. You click on these particular individual links. You can go and dissect the results in here with the profits, the drawdowns, whatever you actually want. Everything is fully available and free for you. So if you go and have a look at the numbers again for this particular portfolio, and we put some numbers on it when it comes to the net profit for the week, you can see 398 is what we did this particular week. Very stable from last week, 397. And then we saw in the beginning of June, we had 455. So that was a bit higher. But again, compared to May, which was a terrible month here, things are looking up. So overall, things are moving forwards. RSI Liberator here, that has actually taken a bit of a dive. It didn't do so well compared to what it normally does. Swiss francs Japanese only made $33 or 3.3%. Euro Swiss francs, $31 or 3.1%. Great British Pounds USD, $26 or 2.6%. New Zealand Swiss francs, $22 or 2.2%. And then New Zealand CAT, $21 or 2.1%. So if you would have traded those top 5 RSI Liberators here for the week of 25, you would have made $134 or 2.7%. 2.7% is obviously still quite good, but we are used to a lot more from this particular EA. Having a look at the entire portfolio here, we have 22 EAs for this one, so that's 220. It means we have actually gotten the balance up to 224,552. Also here, equity is a bit below. So because we have a minus 5,782 floating profit in here. Again, that is quite normal for these particular EAs, as I mentioned. And that's also why you see the total returns. It takes quite a few months before things are going into the positive, and then it will stay positive all the way through. It just has this little floating profit that most of the time will be in minus because of the way the EA works. Monthly returns says 1%, weekly returns is 0.2. Again, as you can trade this on $1,000 accounts, it looks like this one would have done about 10% and 2% weekly returns at the end of the day. Trade wins is at 65.7%, so still very good. Anything over 60 is definitely very good. History of this portfolio, 76 days. So going quite well, and you can also see it is fairly smooth. Obviously not as smooth as the other one. That has been going for a lot longer. You can find all the individual currency pairs also on our website. It looks like this, and again, when you click them, you get you straight to the FX Blue site, where you can go and have a look at open trades, closed trades, lot sizes, whatever you need to do in order to figure out how you want to trade your own, or maybe later on you will join the copy link service for Expert Forex. In the meantime, we're going to have a look also at the graph again. It looks a bit smoother when you look at it like this. Net profits since we started off back in April here. As you can see, this is quite low for this particular week. There was not enough movement to close a lot of the trades. 223 came out compared to the 500 that we had for the previous week. So that is obviously a bit of a disappointing results, but we know that this EA will come back again. So we are not too worried about it. We have made also some changes that we're waiting now to take effect once the previous trades will be closing. Now, I also want to mention that we have the video. I did explain a bit about this particular video here in the last week's news report, the RSI PAMM account explained. So this is the first part. Obviously, we will do a second part here later on when we have time and opportunity. But this will actually tell you a bit about the PAMM accounts itself and how they actually operate. And if you want to know more about it, again, you go to the website. You can have a look at both the RSI, the Wave Liberator, which actually is the foundation of the PAMM account. You click on the bull that you have up here, and then we'll take you to that particular site where you will have more support on both videos and results that we have done previously with these EAs, and also where you can actually get started, where you can download the instructions for all these parts. So, but we are more interested now also in showing you exactly the results that we had for the past week. If we have a look at it again, I have to remind you, this is FX Blue, so some of the results doesn't really show the true nature of this, unfortunately. We can see weekly returns 1.5%, monthly returns 6.5%, and then the history 115 days. So the history should be A-OK. Monthly returns, well, it is a bit low again because this was where we had investors withdrawing quite a bit of money. And it looks like, again, as you can see here on the 28th of April, looks like we had a loss. We didn't have that. But anyway, this is how it shows up. And things are actually moving in the right direction. In the past 4 weeks, we had 2,494. So this was the slow part here in May, where we also have dialed down the EA a bit. Then we made 5,297 and then 4,207. And this particular week, we made 5,612, which is still a bit below where we wanted to be. But also at the moment here, we want to make sure the market is a bit on the funny side here at the moment. So that's why we are a bit cautious on dialing this particular EA up at the moment. People are still making plenty of money. That's not really an issue. If you want to go and have a look at it, you can see that this is the graph in here. The light gray one was actually before we added this one to the MQL5. And then the blue mark up here should now help us understand the real results a bit better. And if we have a look for the month of June, it says about 5.4% at the moment. So that might be the case. It is a bit difficult to calculate for these particular sites when people are adding in money or when people are taking money out. It doesn't really come out fully correct, but we think this is close enough to where we believe that we are. And hopefully we will be somewhere around the 8-9% mark for this particular month, which is on the low side. But again, we take the slow approach, very cautious, depending on how the market is developing. We also have to look at the RSI Liberator, so also the PAMM account in here. Now these numbers for the weekly returns are 1.2 and monthly returns 5%. They were actually quite high last week already. They continued to creep up. And then one of the funny things, not only here when the investors are removing money, as you can see, it actually looks like a loss. And then after that, you can see we didn't really have a problem on it. But also when people are actually adding money into this particular one here, it then all of a sudden, instead of having the calculations done on, let's say, 50,000 and somebody puts in another 50 during the week, then all of a sudden it will have the monthly returns. It'll actually start calculating with that particular money that has been added in there, even though it is a bit of a wrong calculation. So that's why, again, we are using the MQL5, but let's have a look at the history, 66 days net profit. Again, here was not a loss, but investors removing money. And you can see the last couple of weeks, things have been going quite well. We got 877, 933. Last week was 2,041. And now this particular week, 1,614. You can see that is also a bit lower than last week, so it fits very well with the rest of our portfolio in here. But we want to have a look at the MQL5 also, see how that has developed. Again, the pale blue line here is before we actually added to the MQL5. We didn't know that FX Blue was so bad, but it looks like this is a lot better. And for the month of June, at the moment, it looks like we're up at 10.37%. And that is pretty close to our own calculations here also. Obviously, we still have a week to go, so things are looking good for both the PAMM accounts at the moment. Now, last week I also mentioned to you that there's a new test for the new robot that Alex and Expert Forex has. You can actually download that particular one if you are a Premium Forum member. We have actually done that, and we have done the initial test in here. And this is the first results that you will actually see on this one. We have, at the moment, we have 8 EAs set up. You can see the balance here says 50,000, but there's actually 8 50,000 parts. They just haven't been registered yet. They will do that very shortly. We'll also see some additional tradings, because we only have about 5 trades that are running at the moment. So there should be 8 in total. You can see the history is very, very new, 6 days, and those 6 days is even including the weekend. So very little trading, but overall, again, you can see the monthly returns is FX Blue has calculated that to be around 5.7%. So that's a good start, and weekly returns 1.3. Trade wins looks high at 83%. We'll have to see again. There's only very few trades in here at the moment. Trades per day, you can see 14. And we only have been trading this one for 2 or 3 days. So obviously, the more days, the more accurate results we should get at the end of the day. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, there is plenty of profits to be had. All you have to do is go and have a look at the videos in here. And also on our website, you'll find a lot more details and information on all the things that we are actually already invested in. So you don't actually have to waste time, effort, and even money trying to find the right things. We have done all the work for you in here. We are showing it every single week. And you can even go and verify this yourselves. Also, we are just summing up the numbers and then presenting them to you like this every single week. We really hope that you enjoy this and you appreciate the service we do. So please give us a comment, a like, and hopefully I'll see you on one of my next videos. Until then, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.